Hey there YouTube, this is SGM4306 back with yet another review video. This time it is another pair of true wireless earbuds. I use these things like every single day, multiple times a day. It's more often than not I have one of these hanging out of my ear. So anywho, these are super useful for me personally. And this was a product by a company that reached out to me called Sixthgu. Sixth as in Sixth, and then GU, which is an interesting name for a company. Anywho, yeah, links will be down below, obviously. Anyway, this is the model V700, and the thing that caught my eye about this was it has a screen on the case that lets you, like, adjust settings and control your music and stuff like that. I haven't seen one of these yet. I've seen, like, other, like, larger companies, like JBL might have had a concept of this or something like that, and Apple, people were saying that the next AirPods were going to have this kind of feature. And, anywho, this guy is, I believe it's like 46 bucks, so it's not particularly cheap, but it has presumably more features because of the screen, so we'll see in a sec. Anywho, comes in black and white. I believe I got the black one, and yeah. 24-hour runtime, including the case and everything. I'm guessing that screen is going to suck up some of that power, so that's probably why it's maybe a little less runtime than some of the other cases without a screen. But it says it has ANC and ENC, which is interesting. So it has active noise canceling. That's cool. Digitales display, I guess is what they're calling that feature. Bluetooth 5.4. Yeah, there you go. If I focus, there you go. Sixthgu. See, I'm not making this up. Anywho, why is this in like German? That's interesting. I guess they're calling these twin touch, and noise reduction, full color LED display, hands-free, long-lasting battery, etc., etc. Apparently, it has music, game, and movie modes as well. And presumably all these are settable via the display on the case. So I guess just try to shimmy this out. Okay. So there's a little compartment in here. Just flip that open. And we've got a little bit of literature. Geez, that text is small. Any information that is interesting. 320 milliamp hour battery in the case. The resolution of the little screen is 240 by 296. That is interesting. Each earbud has 40 milliamp hour capacity. And yeah, this is probably just the little user manual and whatnot. This is very tiny print. Anywho, yeah, there's some sort of QC pass little certificate thing, and a card that you can scan. Wow, my phone really is not liking whatever the lighting here. It's not focusing properly. Some kind of VIP sales warranty, yeah, activating your warranty, etc., etc. Anywho, we have our obligatory USB cable, which is, it is slightly fancier. Has a faux carbon fiber pattern etched into the USB-C side and the other side as well. And it is orange for some reason, but it's one of these like 4-inch USB-C cables. At least it is USB-C. I have a bunch of these. Every earbud I get has at least one. It comes with undoubtedly 2 silicone pads are going to be on the earbuds themselves, and 2 more, so it's probably going to be small, medium, large sort of thing. And we have the buds themselves, and that's it. Okay, so I ripped the bag open successfully and got to it. There is a one of these protective films, so let's just pull that off real quick. Decently satisfying. Anywho, we have a nice, it's matte except for the screen itself is glossy, and presumably this is a touchscreen. Feels like glass. Yeah, it's cold. So this is a glass touchscreen. There is a bit of a bezel you can just about see there. already picking up some fingerprints, presumably when, so hopefully, yeah, when it's on, probably won't be able to see the fingerprints. But yeah, we have a button on the side to clearly turn it on, as well as a USB connector there. There is like a little hole, possibly for like a charge indicator light, I assume. I don't know. Well, I would. It makes more sense actually when this is charging. It has a screen. Just show what the percentage is on that screen. Anywho, there actually are little holes here, so I guess there's like an onboard speaker as well. That is interesting. And that's pretty much it. It has like a little finger hole thing there, and the hinge is all plastic, obviously. Might have been nice to have like a little place to put a lanyard or a wrist strap or something. And here we go. We have model V700 Sixthgu. Has the capacity there, the charging output, etc., etc. And yeah, let's just pop this open. So I did indeed get the black ones, and it is, interestingly enough, a different color plastic inside. The insert is like sort of gray. I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but okay, fair enough. We have the earbuds themselves, which are they are glossy on the inside, but matte on the part that you actually touch on the outside. Now, undoubtedly, there's two holes there. One's for probably a mic, another an indicator LED, and undoubtedly there's a touch sensor probably on there. It's pretty much the original AirPod kind of clone with the stem and the bud, and the silicone little cap there, and the part where the sound comes out, and that's pretty much your lot. Interestingly enough, it didn't come with a protective film on the contacts, so these should be fully charged, so long as they didn't run the battery down internally while it was shipping. And they might be dead. I might actually have to charge this. Give me 1 sec. I might as well just like fully run through a test this and whatnot. And so I'll get back to you guys in about a week for me, 10 seconds for you. Okay, we are back, and I've tested this out for about 2 weeks, and here are my findings. So the earbuds themselves are actually above average, I would say. They sound pretty good. They have like a decent amount of bass. Mids and highs are like decent. Yeah, these are definitely a cromulent pair of earbuds. Just noting their own merits, not looking at the case and stuff yet. They're actually one of the most comfortable earbuds, I will say. They take after like the Apple style, clearly. So they have like sort of this oval shape. They have the little earbud pad. The standard size of pad actually fits perfectly in my ears. So that's a happy coincidence. And yeah, I've worn these for like 4 to 5 hours straight, and yeah, no issues with the sound quality, no issues with comfort. They were definitely very comfortable. I never felt like they were going to fall out of my ear, too. I think they got like the shape and the angle and everything perfect. So at least for my ears, these work great. The touchpad is like hit or miss. Sometimes I trigger it, sometimes I don't trigger it quite right. I'm not sure where on the stem it's physically located. So sometimes I'll have to, try twice to hit the touchpad and get it to trigger correctly. The specific modes of how many taps you have to get it to do different modes and stuff like that is a little bit confusing. I think it's the opposite of like all my other earbuds. You have to like press and hold, I think, to adjust volume, and a single tap will like play pause, and double tap will track skip. So it's something that's going to take getting used to, unfortunately. But that's just because I'm used to like single tap changes volumes, double tap pauses, triple tap it changes tracks. And the left earbud, if you press and hold, will go through the different like ANC modes and like all that, and turn on off ANC or put it into transparency mode. The right one will call up the I believe it calls up your voice assistant, which I'm never going to use, so I don't care about that. Yeah, so the earbuds themselves, awesome. Battery life per charge, these I think I was getting around like 4 to 5 hours, about like, yeah, I think I pretty much ran them through the one time that I wore it for like 5 hours straight. I ran them down to pretty much low battery and had to put them in the case. So they're about average. Some of the better, some of like the longer lasting earbuds I've reviewed have like up to like 6 to 8 to 10 hours. So these are a little bit less than that, but it's not that big of a deal to just give your ears a break and put these in the case just to charge. Now, one good thing is obviously this case has its own battery and screen and everything. You can turn off the case screen part and put it to sleep, and it will still charge off the battery. So that's good. You don't need to leave this on to charge the earbuds independently, and that's a good thing because this whole screen part, like the power system for the case itself, leaving it on will drain the battery kind of appreciably fast. And when I received this, the battery was dead because I have a feeling that before they sent it off, they tested the case and they didn't shut it down. So the battery was completely flat inside the case when I received it. And so you just have to really make sure once you are done listening to music, if you're going to store this for more than a few hours, like overnight, you want to turn this case off, because I think I measured it, and leaving this on for like half a day drained, I think it was like 15% of the battery, just doing nothing, just sitting here. The earbuds were already charged. The case was just sort of in this sleep mode, but it's still on. You can still turn it on by clicking the button, or there's a setting you can also tap the screen to wake it. So it has to leave the electronics on to do that, and that drains about 15% per half a day. So per day it would drain 30%, and that's kind of not great. To shut it off, you have to go into the setting menu and then click shut down and then OK. And then now it's shut down. So it won't drain the internal battery, but it still will charge your earbuds, which is pretty. I think that's the correct way of doing this. And to turn it on, you just press the button here. It says hello. And it'll, every single time, it doesn't remember the language. You have to reselect the language and reselect the wallpaper. And then now you put it to sleep and it'll remember those settings. However, every time you turn it off and then turn this on again, you have to reselect those settings, which is a little weird. And I think those are the only settings it forgets. I'm pretty sure it remembers like your ANC mode and whatnot. So that at least is good. Yeah, it also remembers the double tap. I turned off the tap to wake because it kept going off in my pocket and it was just waking the screen up and then consuming battery. So I turned that off because it's not even a double tap to wake, it's a single tap, which is very bad because that just means everything wakes it up. My leg is consistently waking it up. And yeah, I can just turn that on temporarily to show you guys. It's just one tap and it wakes up. And so I think that setting is best to leave off. Otherwise, it's going to constantly be waking up. One annoyance, the features are like pretty useful, except for whenever you put it to sleep. Say I left this on, the most useful screen I think is the music screen, and this shows you if I had music. If this was paired to my phone and I was playing music, it would show you the track title, and it lets you change like what track, play, pause, and then volume adjust on the earbuds. I think it's not doing anything because I'm not paired to it right now. However, say I had this on, I adjusted the volume or changed tracks, and then I put this to sleep. When I wake it up again, sometimes if I do it like immediately, it'll remember that I was on the screen. It stays on the screen. However, if I wait like 10 seconds, it'll just take me back to like a random point in the menu, and then I have to find the music setting again, which is kind of annoying. So this should have been enough time, I think. No. I think this is inconsistent because when I was testing it yesterday, it just dropped me into like a random point in that scrolly menu thing. And now it's not actually doing that. It's making a liar of me. But I swear to God, it was just on that carousel menu when I woke it up. And now it's not doing it. So I don't know. Maybe it's a bug in the software because it was like setting me always on like flashlight or something. And like I'm never going to use that. All flashlight does, by the way, is just turn the screen on white. And I guess it's like a color test. Yeah, I forgot it did this. It just goes through different colors. That's kind of, I guess, maybe useful in a rare instance. Dial just takes you back to the lock screen for some reason. Okay, that's weird. Style is so that kaleidoscope is that menu. How do I adjust this? Yeah, this is kaleidoscope. And oh, okay, I got it. So no, that was gear. Default is, I don't know. Oh, maybe I have to click OK. Okay, default is like left, right swipe to go. This is not that useful, honestly, because it means you have to go through every single menu item to find the one that you actually want. And kaleidoscope, if we go through that, is this, which is interesting. Yeah, but there's no text, so you have to remember like what icon corresponds to what. So like the music, yeah, is that icon. This would be good if it was just laid out in a grid and you just directly tapped it. But yeah, not too keen on that one. And now I don't even remember how to get into the options to adjust it. Gear, I think, is the most useful because you can at least see the text and scroll through kind of faster. Okay, find my earbuds is if you lose the earbuds and they're outside the case, you click that button and it makes like a chirping sound or something. So I'll just take these out and say I lost my earbud. I can do left or right. It is pretty quiet, so you kind of going to need really good hearing, or they have to be kind of nearby already and you just like left them in your pocket or something. I don't know. That may or may not be very useful. Equalizer, there is a multiband equalizer. I don't have the earbuds on right now, so I can't select it. But yeah, pop, rock, classical, jazz, voice, DJ, disco. I leave it on rock. That sounds actually, honestly, the default tuning is pretty good. It sounds really good. I turned on rock to get a little more bass, and it's sort of a subtle adjustment, so it's not like a massive bass boost or anything crazy. But it sounds nice for the music that I listen to, so I usually leave that on rock. Timer, I actually really do appreciate this. You can set a timer, and there is a speaker on board. So I mean, this sort of is going for a replacement for like some of the silly things that you use your phone for, like a clock or a timer or whatever. And yeah, I guess we'll speed through this and I'll show you the timer going off. Okay. I swore it made sound before, but it's not making sound now, so that's weird. And I guess yeah, you could do oh, I think I get what's happening. I thought it because this does have sound internally. The speaker should be making noise, so I thought I did this before and it actually made like a beep sound. That's weird. The way it's acting now, it's as if the earbuds themselves should be making the sound, which I'm curious. I want to test this out. Now that I know I can just do like a 5-second timer, let's just do that. Oh yeah, it's coming through the earbud. For some reason, I thought it came through the case because the case definitely does have a speaker here. I've definitely heard it going off. So I mean, the timer thing I think would have been more useful if it wasn't just through the earbuds. If the onboard speaker on the case actually beeped. So there's that. There's brightness. You can adjust the brightness in like 10 steps or so. That's the screen, the onboard screen brightness. ANC, ambient, or whatever is how you switch the modes. There's ANC, there's pass through, and then it's ANC off, basically. And so ANC, it works for this. It just sort of muffles kind of white noise sounds, so you can definitely still hear people talking. You can still hear kind of the lower frequencies. It really only works for like the higher frequencies. The pass through mode, though, you're supposed to use that, I guess, when you like want to hear your surroundings mixed with your music, and so you could still talk to someone. I mean, it works. It basically just adds like a lot of like Gaussian white noise and sort of like a on top of your music. So that is not really great. I personally will never use that. I think it's just better turning off the ANC, and you can still kind of hear a slightly muffled version of the world around you, and you can still kind of hear someone talking to you in that case. The ANC is just like a slightly more muffled. Like imagine putting pillows over your ears. This isn't nearly as good as like some of the other much better ANC implementations. I appreciate that it's here, and given the price of these earbuds, by the way, I think these were like they were on sale for I think $25 recently, and I think their MSRP is somewhere closer to like $35-40. So they're not like super expensive. The sale price of like 25-ish bucks. I think that I'm surprised that it even has ANC at that price point. So if you can get it for that price, definitely shoot for the lower price, obviously. So yeah, ANC is like that. Then we have a stopwatch mode where you can do timing and laps and whatnot. And yeah, and then you can delete it, etc., etc. Probably never going to use that, but I appreciate that it has that mode, I guess. Voice assistant, you can directly call up your phone's voice assistant. I'm never going to use that, obviously. And yeah, we just go back in a circle. Settings, you can turn on and off tap to wake. Sorry about that, I was off screen. Language, you can select your language amongst these languages. And there are actually quite a few, and there's Korean too. So cool. I'm going to leave it on English. Theme, you can change the background image from this wave, clouds, some sort of flower petals, maybe rain of some sort, waves, and that's about it. I just leave it on this. It doesn't really matter, the background image to me. Oh, that's I think why the speaker wasn't working. I had prompt sound off. Because every time you click something, it makes an annoying sound. And that's why I had that turned off. Let's try the timer again. I bet you now it'll work. So I will do like 5 seconds. Yep. Okay, so it's redeemed itself. I just turned off that setting. I muted the speaker because it is annoying when you're doing this now. Every time I go to click something, it makes an annoying sound. So it's sort of a trade-off. I wish you could independently control like the click sounds from like the alarm sounds. That would have been great. There is a restart, a factory reset, which is just going to erase all your settings, and a shutdown. Restart probably is just going to restart this. I don't know. I guess if it locks up, but then if it locks up, how could you get to the menu? I don't understand why there is a restart button. Shutdown, you can either exit back out or shut down. And now it'll only wake if you press this button, like so. And then it just goes through the same thing, and I have to select these 2 settings again. The screen itself, if it's in sleep mode, so it's still on, if I open it, it wakes. And then obviously when you pull out the earbuds and you start using them, it will tell you the percentage of each bud, which is only accurate to about 10% increments. All these are only to 10% increments. I believe maybe 5%. As well as when you are actually in the menu, so when I'm in like the music menu, it minimizes them to the top here. Here it says it's not paired to Bluetooth. And then we have our left and right battery symbols. Those are kind of hard to see. They don't really, I don't think they give you a percentage. They just give you an icon that's green that fills up or empties. And our case battery life here is 90%, it says. The time, it grabs this from your phone. There's no menu on this to actually adjust the time manually. It pulls this from your phone when you pair to it, and it's always in 24-hour time. So that may or may not be an annoyance to you, but it is what it is. And one thing to note, interesting enough, I just wanted to bring up, what was it? Weird. I was going to make a point, and I pulled out the earbuds, and they spoke Chinese to me, even though I definitely set the language to English. So there's something weird going on. Yeah, that's weird. Definitely they were English before. So I think the software is buggy. But the point that I wanted to make was when you first paired this, so I'm just going to grab my phone here and connect to them again. Because for some reason, yeah, okay. They are connected. V700 is what they come up as, and 100% battery remaining. So right now they are in use, and I can go into the music menu, just start playing something randomly to show you guys. So I'm playing something, the track title comes up, and I think for some reason these have like the X mark, or like they're not showing the battery on this screen specifically, which is weird, but if you go to the unlock screen, they will. So there's some inconsistency with this, which is a little weird. The Bluetooth icon turned blue. One thing that I did want to bring up, each of the earbuds show up, well, these two earbuds as together show up as one device, and then the case shows up as another. And I just connected to the case one. And I think they both come up as something very similar, like V700 and then some letter after it or something, which I thought was kind of weird. I think that's how this works. You're actually connecting to this case, and then the case is connecting to the buds, because that's kind of the only practical way I can think of how the case could control your phone, like for the music selection. Like how else could it adjust? I mean, volume obviously could just send to the buds, but come on. But like, how else would it be able to get the track information? One thing that I did just notice, actually, yeah, the track information disappeared. If I just skip to another song, then it sends it. So I guess it's not pulling the phone. The phone sends it when it changes songs, which is weird because sometimes that track information disappears. Huh. Anywho, and it'll only display, I guess, the track title. It won't display the artist or anything like that, and I don't know how to get that on the screen. See, it went back. So that's exactly what I was saying. It was on the music screen. It auto locked, and then I unlocked, and now it's on stopwatch for some reason. I don't like that. Stay on the last screen that I put you on. Don't make me reselect it. And yeah, and now the track information's gone again. I would have to go to a different song for it to show the track title now. It does work though. Like I can play pause, and then I can track skip. So like the buttons do work. It's just maybe the implementation's kind of it seems a little bit buggy. And as far as I know, there's no way to like update the firmware in here, because it would be nice if they fix bugs and stuff, because there definitely are some bugs going on in the software, where some of the things, the way that this works, I think could be done better, a lot cleaner and neater. For instance, remembering what screen that I left off on when I shut off. I don't want it to take me back to the main menu. Like here it remembered, but definitely if you wait a little bit, it just takes you back to that main menu. Yeah, now it's... Oh, I think it's when it's playing music it does that. Because, yeah. Okay, it's playing music now. I can hear it through the earbuds. Huh. See, it's just inconsistent. That one time, it definitely took me back to the main menu and a random selection on the main menu. And then now it's working? Like, there's something buggy, I think. So I would really like them to address the firmware on this, make it just a little more consistent, a little more polished, I think. I do really like the idea of having a screen on here. That is cool, being able to use this like an alarm. Basically do small things that I would normally do on the phone, but on here. It would be cool if this had like downloadable apps, like a calculator app or whatever. Just so that you don't have to take your phone out of your pocket. That would be kind of cool. If I go back in here, yeah, it just took me, now I'm on stopwatch. So, yeah, I don't like that, and it always makes me go back and hunt to find music. But, yeah, just going to put these back in now. I think, for the most part, I'm happiest with, like, the physical aspect of this, the build quality, the earbuds themselves. The physical build of this is really good. It's just like the software needs some work and definitely has some inconsistencies, or what I think are maybe bugs, or maybe it's that behavior is intentional. I don't know. But some very slight annoyances, and the fact that you really do have to remember to shut this off when you're done listening. Otherwise, it will continue to drain the internal battery, and that's not so great. Yeah. Overall, though, Sixthgu did a pretty decent job, I would say. This went to search on Amazon, and a bunch of these earbuds have this type of screen, but they all look like they have like the same firmware, so they all look very similar. The actual OS, like on the touch front screen here. So I think they're all kind of based off of each other or made from the same factory or something. I don't know. But definitely is a good idea, I think, to have a screen here. If they could just maybe polish the software and make it a little more consistent and a little more the way that I think they should obviously work in terms of the settings and whatnot, I think that would be an improvement. Like I said, I don't know if there is a way to firmware update this. I assume if you plug this into USB, there'd be some data connection, and so conceivably you could update this. Or maybe there's via like Bluetooth, because this is paired, the case itself can pair to my phone. So it should conceivably be possible to like push a firmware update to this from my phone, but it would probably require a specific app on my phone. Anywho, once again, huge thanks to Sixthgu for sending this in for review. This is actually a very cromulent pair of earbuds. I just think that it could definitely use some improvements, and I hope that they take some of the suggestions that I pointed out in this video, and maybe if they can push like an update out for everyone to update theirs, or at least improve the next version of these earbuds, because I think these are definitely worth improving on. The earbuds themselves are actually definitely a good deal for the amount of money that they cost, like around the $30 mark. Yeah, these are absolutely cromulent earbuds. Anywho, I've rambled on for long enough, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye.